everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Calamity Jane Knits podcast. I'm your host, and I'm Sarah Jane, and I come out of small town Michigan, and I live in the Netherlands with my husband and my 5 animals. So if you see me looking around, it's because all my animals are around me right now, and they're looking at me wondering, why are you sitting on the floor and talking to yourself in a camera? But that's alright. So this is a knitting podcast, and I really enjoy the online knitting community, and I've been throwing around the idea of doing a podcast for a while now, but I'm really awkward and really shy. But I just figured that, you know what, today's the day, and I'm gonna throw myself out there, and instead of being a lurker on the sidelines, I'm gonna be part of it, this awesome knitting community. So, even if the only person who watches this is my husband and my mom. Okay, so, over the past few weeks, I've finished some socks. I am a sock knitting enthusiast. I love knitting socks. I can just take them everywhere. I knit them on the train, I knit them while walking my dog, I knit them while watching movies and playing games, and, you know, they're just so easy, they're so portable, and you can really, really have some fun with sock yarn. So, this is the first single sock that I have made. It's knit out of Fildar Folk 100, and the toes, heels, and cuffs are, I think, Rakia 4-ply in a navy color. And these are for my husband. I have pet fur all over them because we live in a zoo. But, you know, we love them. The next sock that I have is knit out of Rakia as well, and this is a perfect colorway, and I really love the gradient of these really soft pinks to the hot in-your-face neon pinks. It's really fun. So, there's that. And the last one I actually just finished yesterday, and this is a Drops Fable, and I don't know the exact colorway because I already threw the ball band away, but this is for actually another sock in the works. But it's the same yarn, Drops Fable, and it's this lovely mossy green colorway. And the socks for me, I knit 64 stitches, and I do around 30 or 40 for the leg, and then after my gusset decreases, it's always 50 for me before I start my toe. And for my husband, I knit them 68 stitches because he has a slightly bigger foot than I do and much longer. So, if you're wondering what I have these on, they're actually just cardboard that I knit out. They're that I cut out. I didn't knit them, obviously, but it's a cardboard cutout that I just made a template for, and I can't justify spending $25 for, well, euros, for sock blockers when I don't block my socks. I just feel like these offer a much nicer photograph. Anyway, so there's that. That's all the finished stuff that I have at the moment, but I have an enormous whip pile, which is no surprise because I just knit on what I feel like knitting on. I'm not a very monogamous knitter. But here is my first whip, and this is also Drops Fable, and this is the color 161. Very exciting, I know. So, I usually knit my socks on Magic Loop circular needles, but a few weeks ago we came across this little store here called Sostrengren. Somebody correct me if I'm saying that wrong. It's a Danish or Finnish store, and it's here in Den Bosch, and it's just got all these very cute, minimalist, modern styles, and I really liked it. But they had a whole knitting section, and I found some DPNs, which I really don't enjoy, but I was very surprised, and they were bamboo, and they were €1.88, so I just figured that I would try them. And I actually really enjoyed knitting the sock with these 15 centimeter DPNs. But I don't know if it's because I have giant man hands or I knit really tight, or I just grip things, and I don't know, but these are so bent from me knitting one sock. It is insane. So I just invested in a couple of pairs, a couple of sets of Knit Prosing DPNs, and these have no bend, and I'm very happy with them. And these are 2.25 millimeters, which is a little smaller than I usually do. I figured I would give them a try because I normally knit on a 2.5, which is a US 1.5, I believe. And the fabric that I get is a little loose, so I thought that, oops, maybe I would tighten them up a little bit with these 2.25s. It's not a huge difference, but I think that the fabric is a much nicer fabric. So this is just a little sock that I have going, along with 4 others. But you know, we just knit on what makes me happy. So, and this is my snazzy needle cover that I got from Undercover Otter, Petra over there. She is awesome. Really, really like her stuff. This next sock, I've literally only just done the cuff. This is the second sock to my Rachia Perfects, so it will look like this when it's done, and hopefully I can have a pair soon. So like I said, I've only just done the cuff, and these are on 2.5 millimeter needles of Chigu, and I really, really love this cable. So that's all the socks that I'm going to show you, because the others are just sitting here in my sock baskets, not really getting any love, but they're here just the same for whatever I want to work on. All in there. Nice and organized. Sits next to me on the couch. I really like it. So, other than socks, I have a Sockhead hat that I'm working on. And I think that I am just about ready for the crown decreases. And I love, love, love this yarn. This yarn is unbelievably stunning. It is Countess Ablaze, and it's a BFL nylon blend, and it's a one-of-a-kind colorway called Queen of Hearts. And I really love her in-your-face rebel kind of colorways for knitting. Gorgeous. And this is, I think I have this little cute progress keeper on here. It's a half-eaten bossa wool, and I bought this off of Etsy from the Woolly Dodo. She has super cute things in her shop. I'll link them in the show notes. Next up, I have another hat. Because, you know, it's becoming summer and it's like 80 degrees outside today, but I'm going to knit a bunch of hats because, really, you can never have enough. This is for my husband, and it's knit out of some really deep stash navy tweed yarn. I'm not even sure of the brand anymore, so sorry about that. But this is the Graham hat, and I modified it just a little bit for some extra stitches because my husband has a big head. So want to make sure that it doesn't give him a headache when he wears it. But this yarn is so squishy. Really like how that's knitting up. Almost ready for the crown decreases on this one too. I don't know what my problem is, but you know, gotta knit on what makes you happy, right? And all of these hats are living in my Fringe Field Supply Co. company bag. I really love this bag. This is one of her limited edition flannel wax canvas, and I bought this at Stephen and Penelope's when I went there for the first time in January as a Christmas gift from my husband. So that was really fun to see the store. We'll definitely be going back. This next hat that I have is a design of my own making. I'm not sure if I would call myself a knitting designer because really I've only designed one sock, but if you're interested, I'll link that in the show notes too, to my Ravelry store. But this is a hat that I hope will be coming out soon. It's been in the works for a while, but it's kind of been in timeout just because I haven't really felt like working on it. But this is, I think I'm going to call this Always. And it's just this lovely cabled textured hat that I'm knitting out of Stylecraft DK. And I think the colorway is Boysenberry. It's showing up really nice on camera. But anyway, I hope to have this done in the next few weeks and maybe ask for some testers to test knit it for me, and then hopefully it'll be live soon. I can't really make any promises, but yeah, really happy with it. I think it's very pretty. It's coming together nicely when I work on it. So that's all of the whips and finished objects that I have at this current moment. But I also really enjoy dyeing yarn. And I hope to have my Etsy shop open by the end of the month, beginning of May. And I thought that I would give you guys a quick sneak peek at some of the colorways I'm going to be putting up in my shop. None of that, well, some of them don't have official names yet. I'm still giving them a think. But here's this lovely peach, corally, creamy, speckled colorway. Really happy with how this came out. It's very springy to me. And next up I have, I'm going to call this one Stargazer or Stardust or something along those lines. And this is this gorgeous minty, tealy blue, speckled, variegated yarn. It's a close-up of that pink purple that I just love. And this is called Secret Garden, and it's this lovely spring green with some orange and yellow and green speckles, all the speckled goodness. So that'll be in my shop as well. I have Elephants on Parade, which is dyed on this gorgeous gray. I'm such a sucker for gray with just some light speckles. Next up, I have Loverpalooza, which is a Borderlands 2 reference because I'm super into video games too. That's probably one of my favorite co-op games in existence. But here's a question for you guys. When you guys buy yarn off of indie dyers on Etsy shops or their own websites or what have you, do you prefer them when they reskein them to show the color balance a little more? Or do you prefer just straight out of the dye pot? So here's reskeined, and here's just fresh out of the dye pot and then hung to dry. So, would like a little feedback on that. And then I have this gorgeous tonal blue with some teal. It's not focusing very well. Such a hard colorway to capture. Teal and navy and black and blue. I know, it's really pretty. I think my husband has claimed this one because he wants another Sockhead hat, so we'll see what I can do with that. Almost reminds me of just blue jeans. Really lovely. I'm really happy with how all of these turned out. Really excited to be able to share my things with the world. And then last up, I have, this is quite different than my others, and I really like how it turned out, and the colors are inspired from a character off of an anime called Happy, and the anime is called Fairy Tail, and this is called Icer. And it's just a little cat. He loves fish, and he's really funny, but he's one of my favorite characters on that show. So this is inspired by that. Right. So, I'm not really sure where this podcast is gonna go, or how I want to segment it, or how often I'm gonna do it. And I'm so sorry if you can hear that truck outside. I live in downtown Denbos, and it is always busy here, so there's that. I can show you guys what I'm wearing today. This is my I finished it a long time ago, but I love it immensely. And this is the Bendy Arrow shawl, which I will also link in the show notes. Last year, my husband and I made a trip to London to see a dear friend there, and I bought this yarn at a shop called I Knit or Die, or it's I Knit London, and the yarn is I Knit or Die. And this is called Astral on his Ziggy Stardust base. And this white creamy color is a Stephen and Penelope exclusive. It's Hedgehog Fibers, and it's called Where's My Bike? And I think they just look really, really nice together. So there's that. Yes, it is 80 degrees outside today, and I am inside wearing a shawl because I can. So, well, I guess I can show you one other thing that I've been working on. Although it hasn't really gotten any love in the past while, I just tend to knit on it very, very on and off. But I still enjoy it a lot. And it is, I'm sure you guys all know this pattern already, but it is, shake it out, the Cozy Memories blanket. And mine is more of a dishcloth right now, but I love it just the same. It's got all my bits and bobs of all the socks and stuff that I've knit, so I think it's really fun to just look at. So there's that. I really hope to get in some more knitting time with this soon, because I really do enjoy it. I just get distracted by other things. So I haven't quite decided if I'm going to put up a Ravelry group, if you guys are interested in that, or even where this podcast is going. I just thought that I would get out here and give it a try. So it's going to be a short episode today because I think I've gone so fast that I have now run out of things to talk about, and I don't want it to get really weird and awkward. So, you can find me I'm most active on Instagram, and that is CalamityJayneKnits on Instagram. And you can also find me on Ravelry under CalamityJayneRav. I have a Facebook group for my blog, but that's kind of dead, but that's okay. I'll just link everything in the show notes, and thank you so much for joining me for 20 minutes of your day to ramble on about some strange knitters' obsessions. Until next time, bye!